South Korean victims of Japanese wartime sex slavery are having their first hearing in court seeking compensation from Tokyo. The lawsuit is being heard 3 years after 20 so-called comfort women filed the case.
Lim Yeon-suk is live in Seoul for us right now. Yeon-suk, what's come out of the hearing for the comfort women? What are they seeking from the court?
Well, the trial was held today, and this is really a compensation suit. The victims of the comfort woman and the victims' families had filed a suit 3 years ago because they are seeking compensation of about 200 million won. But, you know, before the trial began, the comfort women did hold a briefing saying that they weren't really going to court because of the compensation, not really for the money, but because they were seeking an official apology and some kind of an acknowledgement from the Japanese government. But because they can't take the Japanese government to court over an apology or acknowledgement, they had no choice but to take the Japanese government to court over compensation. So that's what the comfort woman is saying. But, you know, right now the problem is today the trial did go ahead as scheduled, and it was really the court hearing stories and testimonies from the comfort women themselves, but there was nobody representing the Japanese government, and I think that is going to be the way that is going to be how it's in the next few trials too, because reports are saying that the Japanese government is seeking sovereign immunity, which is given to the foreign governments in a national court under the international law. And in fact, that's one of the reasons why this trial took so long to start, 3 years since it was first filed, because the Japanese government is refusing to attend the court sessions. Now, at the court, inside the court today, apparently there were lots of stories coming out about, you know, the atrocities that some of the comfort women said that they had to undergo during Japan's colonial rule of Korea. But right now, we'll have to see what the Japanese response will be to this trial, and if there is going to be anything from the Japanese side. But the trial has decided to hold the next hearing next February next year.
Hey, Yeon-suk, this comes as tensions between South Korea and Japan are already at a high. Are we right in thinking the U.S. is now trying to mend ties between the two?
Well, yes, and I think that is the worry that, you know, this is going to further hurt the relations between the two sides. As we know right now, it's been really a rocky relations between Japan and South Korea. And earlier this year, we know that Japan imposed those export restrictions on some of the materials needed by the South Korea's IT industry here. And in fact, in retaliation, South Korea decided to terminate this military intelligence sharing agreement that was signed between the two countries. Now, the United States and some experts here had voiced concerns that that could sort of like hurt the security issue here on the Korean Peninsula and also in the region. And that's why the United States has been putting pressure on South Korea not to terminate that agreement, so-called Eusomia. And in fact, we are expecting lots of U.S. officials here in South Korea this week because there are various meetings going on. And right now, we do know that apart from the bilateral relations issues concerning Washington and Seoul, we know that the United States will be talking to South Korea to try and get South Korea not to terminate that agreement because the U.S. says the only countries that will benefit from that will be countries like China, Russia, and North Korea. But South Korea has made it very clear that it will go ahead and terminate it. And in fact, let's listen in to what the Defense Ministry had to say earlier this week.
지금 상황에서는 아까 말씀대로 일본이 부당한 보복 조치를 철회하고 양국 간 우호 관계가 회복될 경우 지소미아를 포함한 여러 조치들이 재검토될 수 있을 것입니다. 지금 입장에서는 변함이 없습니다.